What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Strength Stories, the #1 podcast for strengthening your mindset, your muscles, and your millions. Guys, today we have a very special guest, Trippy Barber, who is not just a barber, but also an entrepreneur and owns her own salon. Trippy, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Good. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I just actually went to the barbershop, got cut up, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fresh. Trippy didn't cut my hair, but she witnessed it, so that's all that matters.
Chair hopper.
I am a chair hopper. Let's actually get into chair hopper. I just heard that term today. Tell me a little bit about that.
Chair hopper is a client that, was usually coming to you and then decided to hop over to the barber next to you.
Okay.
And then occasionally just hops around the shop in each chair.
Yeah.
Just chair hopper.
So is that considered like a bad thing or what? Like, what do you guys think about chair hoppers? Like, this guy over here.
Chair hopper, I guess we see it as the equivalence of like a hoe.
Oh, okay. So I'm a barber hoe.
You're a barber hoe.
Okay.
It's okay though.
Okay.
We like you around the shop, so
okay, good.
We're cool with that.
So there's actually like there's a reason why I guess hop around, because sometimes I feel like barbers, they be getting too comfortable. Like you be going to them for a while because you appreciate and like their cuts. But sometimes I feel like, they get a little bit comfortable. They're just like kind of like chopping it up with you, but they're just like cutting your hair. But it's like sometimes I'm like, yo, did they go as hard as they can go? What do you think about that?
I guess each individual barber is a little bit different. I feel like I understand what you're saying because when you become friends with your clients, it can, get a little messy in the sense where you might end up showing up late to your clients' appointments or just stuff like that. But it can go both ways because clients, when they get too comfortable, they hit you up, I'm gonna be 15 minutes late, I had to cancel last minute because I forgot about the appointment, or they expect you to like take them in on your days off. So it can go both ways, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
Okay.
I get it.
Okay, is that like something that happens often?
Actually, yeah, it happens very, very often. Clients are always like, hey, can you take me on like a Sunday or a Monday? And I don't work Sundays, Mondays. And I'm just like, sorry. And then they're just like, I'll give you this much money. And I'm just like, still, sorry, I'm not, I don't work on my days off. Like, I got kids. So, like, that means I would have to go out of my way, find a babysitter just to go cut up one person. And it's just a lot.
It's just not really worth the money.
Honestly, it ain't.
Yeah. Sometimes your peace of mind is just worth way more, right?
Yeah.
So you got a baby on the way, so I just want to congratulate you on that.
I'm just fat. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so right now you're pregnant. How many months are you pregnant?
8.
8.
I'm doing like 3.5 weeks.
Okay.
So
congrats.
I'm almost ready to pop.
How does that affect you running your business and you cutting?
It kind of sucks sometimes because I had to cut my hours by a lot.
Okay.
Just standing all the time just eventually just gets to the point where you just get really tired of standing. Also just I get extra hot.
Yeah.
My feet start hurting. My back starts hurting. Yeah, it sucks. It also just sucks because like being self-employed and pregnant, you don't get the perks of like getting maternity leave. It's out of pocket.
Yeah, it's more like it's an employer thing.
Yeah.
Okay. An employee thing.
Everything's out of pocket. So it has its pros and cons, I guess.
So I have this question for you. I wrote down a few questions because we come prepared here. And a question that I wanted to ask you is kind of what got you started into cutting? Like at what age did you realize, okay, like this is something that I may be interested in?
I was 13 when I first started cutting hair. Except I started doing women's hair way before I got into like the men's hair because of my mom. My mom's a cosmetologist and she's been a cosmetologist ever since she was 13. So just growing up watching her do hair my whole life kind of got me interested into it. It wasn't until I was 18 that I went like the barber route, mainly because I just kind of got tired of dealing with women's attitudes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of attitude. Sometimes we want things that we can't have, So I just found that it was easier to deal with male clientele than female clientele, to be honest.
Because I also feel like when we're at the shop, like even guys, like we talk shit, right? Like me and Nacho, you, and
I love talking
other
shit.
barbers, like we talk shit, all right?
Yeah.
We talk shit, but it's more like kind of like friendly shit. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I hate this person. It's more like, yeah, we're bullshit and we're messing around, and I feel like that really builds a bond with your client and just like the environment in the shop, right?
See, and like I said, like I love talking shit. Like I'm a shit talker.
Yeah,
like it's fun, you know. Sometimes you just gotta let it out.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one thing that with women, you can't do that. Women are so sensitive. Like you say something, like they catch an attitude, you know, or they take it too serious. Like I love joking around. Like I like, bashing on Nacho, and he's the one that works next to me.
Yeah.
He could take it. He's my punching bag. He takes everything I say to him.
Yeah.
And it's, it just makes it a fun environment. And with a woman, environment, you got to be a little bit more professional, I guess, with your coworkers, and just watch what you say. And I'm very outspoken and I say what I think, and sometimes it can be a little overboard, but I like how the guys can take it more than the women.
Of course, you gotta take it. If you're gonna give it, you gotta take it. Right?
And sometimes I be taking it too. Sometimes it be saying some shit and I'm just like, oh, my heart. But you gotta take it.
How do you compare, like, I guess, men gossip versus women's gossip? Like, what is the biggest difference, would you say? Because it's talking shit at the end of the day, right?
Women's gossip is more hurtful. Like,
really?
They, really get into,
baby daddy issues or what?
Like, deep shit. Okay. I don't know. Like, it's more bitchy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not as playful.
It's not as playful,
okay.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's different. It's different.
Hey, shout out Nacho. I know he's gonna want to hear this. So shout out Ignacio.
Shout out to Nacho.
Shout out Nacho. He's taking your blows.
He definitely is.
Yeah, no, and honestly too, going back to like the chair hopping stuff, I like to watch, right? I'm a watcher. I feel like maybe because I'm the youngest in my like my family, I've always got to observe like other people doing things before it was like my turn, right? So I'm always watching, like, okay, Ignacio's cutting good, like, you're cutting good, Angel's cutting good, right? So I see, and then, it's weird because it's kind of hard to find a good barber because I feel like every barber has, like, a strong point. Like, I like Milka's fades. I like the way Angel lines up, like, my mustache, my eyebrows. I like the way Nacho styles my shit. Like, you guys all have strong points. I wish I could create, like, a AI, like, generated barber that knows
3-in-1.
Yeah, because it's an art form. I don't think people understand that it's an art form, and being able to, because you do have to interact with clients, right? So I wish I could just create like this monster in my head that can just, it knows exactly what I want. But I think too, having a bond to be able to understand each other is very important.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, what you were saying is like, we all have our strong points, of course.
Yeah.
And if everyone cut exactly the same, then it would be really hard to keep clientele in general or make new clientele. So I think it's a good thing that we all have our strong points.
I wanted to ask you too this question, especially because I'm really big on educating my audience, right? And even me, like, I'm a very curious person, and I know the first step into cutting is like going to barbering school, right? What was your experience like there?
To be honest, when I went to barber school, I went to the cheapest school I could find.
Okay.
And they're more known for cosmetology. They did have a barber's program.
Okay.
But I was the only barber enrolled in their barber program. I didn't learn much, to be honest. When I got into barber school, I already knew how to cut hair. I kind of just like bullshitted barber school the entire time. But also, you get what you pay for. I really recommend for people that don't know how to cut hair at all to go to a program that actually teaches you something. Okay. The only thing that sucks about those schools is they're just very expensive. Okay. And the cheaper schools don't teach you anything. Okay. So, it's just like one or the other.
Is it kind of like a public school thing? Because in a sense, like, I feel like public school, like, you can learn some things if you have good teachers. But a lot of the times, like, you don't know shit. You don't really learn shit. You know what I mean? Is it kind of like that, or what like depends on? Does it depend on the teacher, like the program, like the school? How is it structured? Like, what is it? Like, you just show up with your backpack, like you're ready to go, or what?
There's some schools that have no structure. They don't even ever crack open the book. Okay. And there's a book, like there's a barber book that you're supposed to read, because once you're done with your hours, you have to do a state test that is based off that book. Okay. And there's dead ass schools that don't ever open that book. They kind of just leave it up to you to read it, and if you fail, you fail, you know.
Okay.
But those are the cheap schools.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like the more expensive schools, like they crack open the book, you know, they read chapter per chapter, like they're more structured, you know. So it just depends on your budget and what you're willing to pay for, honestly.
So would you say it's a way to invest in yourself? I'm always big on investing yourself. So I don't mind spending a lot of money if I know it's an investment, right? I will get a return.
Yeah.
Would you recommend spend some money?
I definitely would, because one thing that a more expensive school will teach you that a cheaper school wouldn't is professionalism and how to run your business. You go to a cheap school, they just want their money, and they're just kind of like throwing you into the field to like expect you to just learn everything off your own, and you kind of just learn off of other students that have been there for, you know, a little while. I would definitely just do your research, but not go for the cheaper schools if you don't know much. I guess it's a little different when you already know how to cut hair and you just want to get your license and you kind of already have a plan for yourself. But if you have no plan, you don't know how to cut, like you don't know what you're doing, don't go to the cheap schools.
So if you got some money, invest in yourself. And if you don't, then try to learn. Would you say try to learn from somebody else or watch somebody else?
You can. So the thing about going to barber school is that once you get to a certain amount of hours, you're able to shadow other barbers that are licensed. So you can go into their shops. Like even then, just going to other people's barbershops and shadowing certain barbers, it definitely helps. And I definitely recommend that.
How do you just reach out to them or just like, hey, I'm new? Like, have you gotten messages like that?
I get them all the time. I'm just like, because a lot of people are like, oh, like how much would you charge me for like to teach me? I'm like, honestly, there's nothing that I can teach you in one day. Like you would have to come in and just watch me and shadow me. There's been one person that has ever taken me up on that, because a lot of people reach out and they kind of just expect things to be like a one-day thing, but it's not. Like you have to, like,
you gotta want it.
You gotta want it. You gotta like sacrifice your time,
of course,
you know, because you gotta go out of your way to come to me whenever you can to shadow me, to learn something, because like I said, I can't teach you anything in one day. It takes time.
So you got to really be self-driven to be able to because if I'm gonna reach out to you, right, like let's just say I wanted to be a barber and I'm reaching out and I'm messaging you, right, like you best believe I'm about to be there early and ready to go, you know, because I understand I am taking up your time, and if I really want it for myself, I want to be able to learn quick, and you know, because everybody wants to learn quick. Like I wouldn't say quick as in like in a day, but as fast as possible, right?
And that's the thing, like everyone's different. Like there's people that's been cutting hair for like years and they still can't do a decent fade. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's because they're not putting their all into it, you know. They kind of just settled for what they can do and just start racking up on the money. You know, they start caring more about the money than their work itself. And then there's people that learn how to fade in a month, like 1 month. Like that's insane. Like I've seen when I was going to barber school to try and get my instructor's license, I saw students that were like didn't know how to cut hair at all, and like in a month you could see like the huge progress that they were doing, and that's because they actually wanted it. So it just depends on the person itself, and it tells me everything. Like it says it all when someone reaches out to me and they're like, oh, can you help me, can I come shadow you? And I'm just like, yeah, like of course, you know, you can come whenever. But that's the thing, I'm pretty straight up to the point where I tell them don't waste my time, because I'm literally like, instead of dedicating my time to my client, I'm focused on you. You know, so instead of trying to have a conversation with my client that's paying to be there, I'm over here trying to help you at the same time by talking and showing you how I'm doing things step by step. So if you're not putting your 100%, you're literally wasting my time. And I'm doing it for free. And I'm doing, like, I'm not charging these people. Like, what I've done is, like, I've had kids that want to shadow me, and, like, I've mentored. And I get it, like, they're kids, they're in high school, like, they don't take everything so serious. But I've told them the same thing, like, hey, bro, like, I'm going out of my way to help you. So, like, I need you to help me.
Yeah.
So like whenever they were there, they would answer the phone, they would sweep the floor, they would just help out with whatever they could, and then I would help them out with teaching them how to cut hair. And like once a week I would have them bring in like their brother, uncle, dad, and I would help them through the haircut. But I would tell them like, if there's a moment where you feel like this isn't for you, tell me, because you're wasting my time if you just keep coming in here and I keep going out of my way for you and you don't want it. Like, just tell me. Like, tell me you don't want to do it anymore. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'd rather you be honest with me than us continuing to waste each other's time. And it's happened like a few times where there's just like, hey, like, I get really busy with school and I just really can't handle both. And I'm like, that's totally fine, bro. Like, I'm glad that you were able to be here and help us out a little bit. Because, I mean, them answering the phone calls was pretty helpful, So, and then I'm just like, well, hopefully whatever you learned, helped you. And maybe you won't be a barber in the future. But, like, I would always say, something. Yeah, like, I would also, they would learn how to, like, treat clients in general, or
I see that. That's important too, being able to sell yourself and be able to have social skills.
That too, because the other barbers would talk to them, talk to them, or like clients, so like they learned how to socialize, because they would always come in, and they'd be super shy, and then by the end of it they're like a little bit more social,
talking shit again. That's how it is.
Well, I had to keep it a little bit professional when I had the kids in there, so I would try to minimize my shit talking in front of the kids.
I think that's one of the best things about barbershops is that you can just go in there and just talk shit,
Oh yeah.
But I remember being a young kid, like in high school, and pulling up to a barbershop and kind of feeling like, oh, because like I'm a kid, right? Like, kids don't have confidence. You're just a kid. And I remember pulling up, and then like I said, I'm an observer, right? I was the youngest. I got to see my sister, like my parents. Like I had an older brother to like, I saw what they were doing, and then like I feel like that kind of gave me an advantage. I would observe, then motherfuckers be saying crazy shit, and then that kind of gave me the confidence, like, yo, if this guy's saying these things, like I can say whatever I want too, right? So then you kind of start building that bond. Like this guy's talking shit, I'm talking shit. We're talking about this. We're talking about sports. We're talking about music.
That's the barbershop, though. That's like that's the power of being in a barbershop. Like a barbershop is like a male's like safe place to like talk about whatever. Like it's like whatever you say in the barbershop stays in the barbershop. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
it's a community.
It literally like you get the best chisme at the barbershop. Like I've dead ass had men like rant to me about their wives, and I'm just like, damn, like, like that's
damn,
crazy.
I didn't know she was like that.
But like, and it's cool because like they like trust you, so it just feels like a safe environment to like really talk about just anything or just talk mad shit. Like I'm a woman, so like sometimes I could feel like some other like my other barbers clients feel some type of way about like saying certain things in front of me, but then once they hear me say like oh, like fuck that bitch, or I don't know, just something like crazy, they feel a little bit more like okay I can start saying bitch now.
okay because they're kind of like, ooh,
so like I want people to feel like they literally can say anything in there, because I like I said, I tend to be pretty free about how I say things.
Has there ever been a moment though where you had to like check a client like, hey, I don't really appreciate that, or hey, or do you just like, it's a barbershop, like talk your shit?
At one point, yes, and that was when my mom was in there. Okay. So now that I have, because I have the barbershop and then I have the hair salon. So ever since I opened up the hair salon, which was it's about to be 3 years, we've been a little bit more free about how we say things. But when my mom was there, I definitely watched what I said. I definitely would tell people to like, not tell them to chill out, but like, just kind of like divert the conversation to something else. And then the music wasn't the same, you know.
I mean, like, your mom's in there, yo. You gotta be careful what you say. Like, because if your mom knows, that means your aunt knows. That means the whole world knows.
Dead ass. And that's what I'm saying. Like a woman, like working with women and working with men is completely different because the shit we be saying in the barbershops, going to a salon and doing that in a salon, better know that some women are gonna be crying in that bitch. It's not for the lighthearted to take shit talk, you know, from a barbershop. So,
and you just mentioned 3 years now with the salon. How long have you had the barbershop for now?
It's about to be 7.
7.
Yeah.
So 7 and 3.
Yeah.
Okay. That actually brings up a good question that I actually wrote down and thought about, which was, what is the process of renting out, or I guess the process of owning a barbershop? Like, what kind of licenses? Like, obviously, like, I instantly think an LLC, right? You need like your LLC.
You don't need an LLC.
Okay, you don't need a LLC. Okay.
You should, or it's recommended to get an LLC.
Yeah.
Especially if you just like get sued and stuff.
Okay.
But I mean, you also have insurance. Like if you don't get an LLC, you can get you need insurance. So like you get your business license, you get the shop license, and then you have your insurance.
Yeah.
To open up a barbershop and you're not a barber, you don't need a barber's license. So I mean, that's
so
a
you can own a barbershop
and not be a barber.
Yeah. But there's barbers there working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. Because you would think, but it's probably better to be a barber and then own it too, right? Because you kind of know the ins and outs better.
It depends, because there's like companies like Sports Clips and Supercuts. The owners don't cut hair. Yeah. You know? But then again, the structure of how they run the business is completely different. Yeah. So it just depends. Like I'm more of a, you know, local. Business and small, and I'm not thinking in the aspect of like mass making a bunch of barbershops. I feel like the quality goes down with the more barbershops you have, because at that point you just not need to start filling in the chairs with whoever. Yeah. You know? But at the same time, obviously Sports Clips and Supercuts makes bank, you know, compared to me. Like
Okay, so actually I didn't know that, and you actually just like opened up my eyes to it. So Sports Clips and Super Clips or whatever, those are like franchises. Yeah. Okay. And you're saying like the skill dilutes, right? Over the more you have, like, I guess the worse they are. So they're just kind of like a bunch of McDonald's barbershops, would you say?
I would say so, yeah. Okay. It's like the McDonald's of barbershops.
Okay. Is that like a good place to start, would you say?
I feel like to like start working. I would say like last resort, yes. Okay. Only because they pay you by the hour. Okay. So no matter what, you'll make money and you can gain experience there. But it's also like a kind of place where you might feel a little too comfortable to leave, and you might not ever want to go somewhere where you need to put in real work to gain clientele on your own, because Sports Clips is guaranteed. Like you get clients no matter what, and they have you booked all day every day. You know, so it's just like you can get a little too comfortable in places like that.
I see that. So you gotta understand you should only be there for a small amount, or not a small amount of time, but just get what you can out of it and then continue to grow.
Yeah, I would say so.
And this is another question that I have. How do barbers set their prices? Is it based on skill level, or is it just what they think they're worth, or how does that work?
They're worth. Okay. What they think they're worth, because I know a lot of barbers that are really, really great. Yeah. And they're still cutting under $35. And then I know barbers that are okay and they charge more than me, you know? Okay. And they've been cutting hair for like under 3 years. Okay. So it's just more like what they think they're worth. I feel like barbers nowadays, they have a little bit more of an advantage of when I started cutting hair, because I've been cutting hair for like 12 years. Yeah. So when I got into cutting hair, I had no idea what I was doing. Like I didn't know where to start. Yeah. I had no mentor. I didn't know anything about the barber scene. So I started working at one of those like Mexican hair salons that the haircuts are like $10 a cut. And like, you know, I gained my experience there, but it's like, it sucked because I had to come up from $10 to like where I am now. Yeah. And like there's barbers that are barely coming into the industry now that go straight into a barbershop. And right off the bat they're charging $35. So when you start off charging $35,
yeah,
in 5 years from now,
mm-hmm.
you could be charging like 70, 75, 80,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the way you started off, like right off the bat, like you did it right, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and nowadays the barber industry is a lot more, I guess, mainstream, you would
Yeah.
say, I would call it.
Yeah.
So like,
would you say that's due to social media?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Social media barbers tend to have more clientele than anyone that doesn't use social media to their advantage. Yeah, to be honest. So social media does play a big key into the career. Yeah, honestly. There's been times where I deactivate my Instagram because I want like a little mental break from social media, and I get people that call the barbershop and like, yo, like I was trying to book with you and I couldn't. What happened to your Instagram? I'm like, bro, like we have a website. Yeah. Like you can book through the website. You don't have to book through my Instagram. Okay, yeah. And then I also noticed that my bookings went down. Yeah. Because I deactivated my Instagram. Yeah. So like instead of being booked all day, like I had gaps. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know,
what's
like,
going on?
Like what's going on? Yeah.
So I think it's just because it's easy. Right?
It is.
Because I'll just go Trippy Barber, boom, book. That's it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm a chair hopper, right? Because I got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? So if I got a good bar, let's just say, I have like first, second, and third like starters for my barbers, right? If you've been getting your haircut for a while, you have like your first, second, and third, right? For me, something that I just from a customer, I guess, for me, something that's big is time. Because sometimes I'm busy, right? And then I start looking at myself. I'm like, oh, yo, I need a haircut, right? It's time to get a haircut. Sometimes I need one tomorrow at a certain time, right? And if I can just go on on Instagram, look at Ignacio, he's open at like 2, and that's just perfect for me. Boom. It's just so easy, right? Oh, yeah. It's so easy, and I feel like that's something that I like. Like, I do like the Instagram booking thing, right? Because I'll just go on there, boom, book at that time. Like, I don't have to call. I don't have to go on a website, type a bunch of shit. You know, I just hop on. I see what time that works, boom, and I'm done. Yeah, no, I know I'm ready taken care of, right?
I learned that the hard way, so I had to reactivate my Instagram, and you know, just whenever I don't want to be on Instagram, just don't even pay attention to it. But definitely Instagram plays a big hand into it. But like you were saying, it's really important to have several choices of barbers. I think. Yeah. I feel like I understand that some people are like, I need to be very loyal to my barber, but at the end of the day, things happen where it's like you said, sometimes you need it tomorrow. Yeah. And I feel like it's okay, like, you know, go to like have a second choice. Always have personal. A second. Yeah, it's not. It's really it really ain't that serious. Personal. Yeah. It really ain't that serious, because I do be seeing sometimes like barbers be getting pressed that like their so that's a real thing. Barbers get pressed? Barbers that get pressed. Really? I'm lucky enough to have barbers around me that don't. Yeah. So like my team, like we hand each other clients. Yeah. Whenever I can't take my own clients, I'm like, hey, but Jay or Nacho over there, Thomas is available. Like if you want to go with them, go ahead. But like I won't take it, you know, personal. Like go ahead and try them out. Yeah. You know, and then most of them do. Some decide to just wait. And then same thing with them, like sometimes, you know, they're unavailable and they're like, hey, can you take me this day, this time? I'm like, yeah, I'll take you, you know. Yeah. I'm like, it's not that serious, to be honest.
So some barbers actually do truly get pressed, because I always thought it was a joke, like really. And is it more money or is it more like personal? I think let's just say he's a good paying client.
Probably. I don't know, like I just.
Or is it an ego thing?
Maybe. Okay. You know, like maybe they're just afraid that they're not going to come back to them, you know? Yeah. Like.
Yeah. Because, you know, I'm a chair hopper. It's good to know, all right?
I joke around a lot, you know, like whenever I see a client of mine go with one of my other barbers, I'm like, damn, you cheating on me? I'm a little hurt right now. But, you know, I mean, overall, like, I don't care. And to be honest, like, it makes me happy, especially as a business owner. Yeah. And you wanting to have other barbers in your team. Yeah. Like, it's really important not to have any kind of, like, hatred or jealousy. Yes. Because you know, they're part of your team, you know, like you wanted them there.
Yeah.
And you want them to succeed, because when they succeed, you succeed.
Yes.
You know, when they look good, you look good.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you're a team, right?
Exactly. I mean, if you're jealous of like, you know, other people taking your clients, then maybe you shouldn't own a barbershop with barbers.
Yeah.
Maybe you should just have your own studio.
Yeah.
And not have other people around you.
Yeah, yeah.
Because hate and business don't go together.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it might, for me, I'm very big on competition, right? I'm a competitive person. I want to be the best, right? And so when I see somebody get a dub, it's kind of like, okay, well, let me see if I can get it up too, right? It's not really like, oh, this asshole over here, you know, is making me look bad. It's more like, okay, like this is how I would feel like if I was a barber. Okay, he went with this guy. I'd be like, okay, why? Like, am I slacking? Am I getting too comfortable? What's the case? Like, you know.
And that's okay to think that. I think it makes you step up your game. And I feel like healthy competition is also important within the barbershop, because once other barbers see you stepping up your game, they want to step up their game. So you're just kind of like lifting each other up in, I guess, a friendly manner.
I have another question for you, and you kind of do a lot. You do a lot. You're a mother, right? You have babies, you have a husband, you own a salon, you own a barbershop, you do a lot. How do you avoid burnout?
And I tattoo eyebrows.
And you tattoo eyebrows. Yeah, that's right.
Honestly, what has helped me to kind of just like let some steam off is going to the gym. Obviously I'm pregnant right now, so I've kind of put that off for a little bit. I mean, I wish I had the answer to that. Like I'm still trying to figure it all out, a balance and everything, because I'm the kind of person that as soon as I have a little bit of free time in my life, I like put more shit on my plate. You know, like I don't know how to stop yet.
I know. I relate to that. Because you can always do more. I have this thing where you can do more.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. You can always do more. I feel like if you have too much free time in your hands, it's like
you're wasting time.
You literally are, you know. And it's funny because like some people are like, oh, like, because I'm a very artistic person. Like I paint too. Like that's one of my hobbies. So whenever I really, really have free time, I like to paint or draw. I'm really like, I have my own camera. Like I know how to edit videos. I know how to edit pictures like professionally. Like I know how to use Photoshop, and people are like, oh, you should do like videos on your like free time. I'm like, if there was more than 24 hours in a day, I would also be a videographer. I'm just saying. But like to me, that's more like a hobby. Like that's something that just like that's out of my priorities. I definitely enjoy, you know, doing little skits and little videos or like, you know, random little stuff like that, but it's not something that I try to pursue as a career, because like also I'm really good at event coordinating, and I've also been told like, oh, you should like start doing events and like make a business and like doing event coordinations. I'm like, time like that's.
You have thrown some good events. I will say that. I got lit. I had a good time, you know. How did you get... Is it just because you have this space you just thought about throwing an event? Okay. How do you coordinate that? Like, what's your thoughts when you're going to coordinate or plan an event?
Well, I put it all on paper first.
Okay.
So first things first is I start putting everything on paper. What I need, what I want to get, like who I want there, how much it's going to cost me. Like insurance, just everything. Like I literally make a list of everything that I want, and then I just go from there. And then that's when I start budgeting myself. Start asking around for prices, because my events are free. I don't charge. And it's also because what I'm trying to do is more like a community thing, because it's a local events that I do. And then also it's just advertisement for the barbershop. So like people
just getting more eyes,
socialize the shop as like, oh, that's a lit shop, you know.
Make it look good.
You know. So also because I just enjoy doing it. I don't do it often. I do it just about like once a year. And it's just because it's something I like to do. You know, like again, so it's a hobby. It's a hobby. So yeah, but that's usually how I go about planning it. And I do everything on my own. The day of, that's when I get my barbers involved and my husband, and they help me like organize everything and build, like when I rent tents, like I have them build that.
Hey, shout out your husband.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, he be doing a lot for you.
Oh, 100%.
I always see him like upstairs, like hammering shit, doing
for
things.
real. And it's crazy because like during these events, like I'm like super stressed out and I'm all over the place. Yeah. And like he takes my shit, you know, like I start giving him an attitude or like talking like super agitated, and he's just like chill, like chill.
He puts your ass in your place,
you know, but like, you know, he takes it, you know, because he understands that I'm like super stressed out, and then I have all these kinds of people trying to have a conversation with me when I'm trying to like do stuff and like keep everything on top, because like the way I coordinate things, like I'm a time like super timely, like super coordinated with my time. Yes. So like I like things to be done like on the dot. Like I make sure things go as planned. Yeah.
Do you have like what is the term? Spacing, timeout, time slotting? Is that what you do, or do you write things down to make sure you're on time, or how do you time manage, would you say?
Yeah, I create a list of how I want things to go. So like at this time this is gonna happen. At this time that's gonna happen. Like and I make sure that that's like followed through.
Yeah. Okay. I like that you mentioned your fitness helped you with dealing with stress and burnout. What are your favorite exercises that you like to do at the gym? Like, what you come in, do you come with a plan, or do you freestyle, or what do you like to do?
Well, first of all, of course, you know, I'm a woman. Like, I love leg day. Leg day is like my shit. Yeah. So the way I go about it, Mondays, mandatory leg day. Okay. Mandatory. Okay. Just pure legs, like maxed out. Like that's when I try to do my PRs. Deadlifts for sure Mondays. Squats for sure Mondays. Okay. You know, like heavy stuff. Yeah. Tuesdays I would do some cardio and then, you know, like shoulders, back, and triceps. Wednesdays, medium weight, legs. Thursday, cardio again with chest and like, you know, like other stuff. And then
how much you bench? At least the bar, right?
At least, how about we start off with what I could squat?
Okay, how much you squat? How much you be squatting?
Well, I've maxed out at 180. Okay. Good. But on the normal I do 135. Like that's like like that's
a good moderate weight.
Like I can do, you know, decent sets with that. Yeah. But yeah, benching, I would say the most I've done was 95.
Okay, that's not bad.
You know, so a little bit of weights on my little bar, you know, like, you know, 15 pounds on each side.
Yeah. No, that's good. Because I know a lot of ladies that can't really do the bar. So if you can do the bar comfortably and add some weight, I respect it.
I could do
okay, you can do some work. And
I could put some 2.5s on it.
Okay. Flex. Now, I want to give you a compliment, because I know you had a weight loss journey. I know, like, you were telling me, like, you had babies, and a lot of people don't understand that weight loss has to do a lot with diet. When you went through that weight loss journey, how much weight did you lose, and what were you eating?
So I've gone through 2 weight loss journeys, because after every pregnancy, you gotta lose all the weight. Yeah. So with my first pregnancy, I think when I realized I need to start losing weight, I was at like 155. It doesn't sound like a lot, but I am short. Yeah. So I looked pretty chunky. Yeah. You know, and I did a lot of cardio. Okay. A lot of cardio. Okay. I didn't focus much on the weight side because I had just started. Like I didn't even know what I was doing. Yeah. And then my meals were just like basic shit. Yeah. Like chicken with seasoning and white rice. Yeah. Like super basic.
Bodybuilding.
Yeah. Basics. Like you know, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Yeah. But then as I started like progressing into like figuring out how to work out. Yes. Bam, I get pregnant again.
Oh. You need to stop getting pregnant. Good. Last one.
Swear.
Yeah. No,
but,
that's good.
That happened. Yeah. So I was like, fuck, you know, like, gotta do this all over again. Yeah. So the good thing about this time around is because I got pregnant when I was already working out. Yeah. I did stop working out as soon as I found out I was pregnant, but my mentality was still there where it's like, I'm going to get back to it as soon as I have this baby. Yeah. And then I did. A month and a half after I had my baby, I went back to the gym and probably got back into shape after like 9-10 months. Could have been sooner, but I was still kind of like figuring out my whole diet side of it, because I was starving myself, thinking that was gonna like help me. But then realizing later on, as I like mature in the gym and like my whole meal stuff, I realized that starving yourself, your body's like keeping all of that inside, and
cortisol levels are high.
Yeah, so like now you're storing, your body's like storing all the fat, you know, because it thinks it's starving.
No, that's good. I don't think people understand. If I could give a few tips to lose weight, because I've lost a few weight myself, so twice too. There's the competition coming out of me. First things first, diet. If you don't have a good diet, good luck trying to lose weight, because that really is the key. You know, you have to make sure that you have a high protein diet. I would say make sure you're eating enough protein. They say 0.8 to a pound per body weight. So I would say that's the first tip. Second tip, I would say make sure you're in a deficit. So find out what your maintenance is. Find out your weight, your age, your gender. After you figure that out, then you can go ahead and figure out your calories. Make sure you're eating. They say I like to do 250 to 500. Anything more than that, you can start feeling a bit hungry. And cardio. Those are 3 things that I feel like I wish I learned right away. It would have made things a lot easier. So make sure you're weighing out your food so you know how many calories you're consuming. So learn how to weigh your food. Make sure you're doing enough cardio. Make sure you have enough protein. And I would say that will get you right.
Yeah, I feel like to start, definitely weighing my food helped.
Yeah.
And then before I got pregnant again, third freaking time, I got to the point where I didn't have to weigh my food anymore. Yeah. And I was still getting results. And it's because, you know, I got used to like making sure, like eyeballing it. I kind of already knew what it was, you know. But I feel like diet is very, very, very important. Working out just maintains your weight.
Yes, I would say that too.
But diet is what really gives you results.
Yeah, that's what, you know, depending on how much you want to, how far you want to take it, right? You could either increase your cardio, so that way you're burning calories, or cut your calories. But I do highly recommend learn how to weigh out your food, because that's going to give you a better idea of calories in general. Because I used to think, oh, this is probably 500 calories, but I realized that it was actually 800 or 1,000 calories, and I was way off because I didn't really understand like what food looks like in calories, right?
Because a lot of people, they see like, oh, well, it just looks like a little bit. Yeah. So facts. It's probably like,
it's fine.
It's fine,
eat
you know.
Once in a while, it's good.
Like
I hate that. I hate when people say that shit.
There's a burrito at Safeway that I ate one time.
Yeah.
It's like this big, like it's a little ass burrito.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's a bean and cheese burrito.
Okay.
Until Ignacio told me, he's like, you know that bean and cheese burrito is 1,200 calories, right?
That's crazy.
And I'm like, that thing that makes me hungry again in like an hour? He's like, yeah. He's like, that's 1,200 calories. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, you open up your eyes to it.
Never again have I eat that burrito. But like, that's the thing. Like sometimes in our head, we're like, oh, but it's so small. I can't have that many calories. And then
especially like peanut butter and fats, you got to be careful with that.
But even though they're healthy, you know, but you still got to limit yourself.
Peanut butter, kind of healthy. I would say more like nuts. Might be a little bit healthier. Avocados. But guys, we're coming into an end. We had a good conversation, and I'm super excited to have Trippy. So last question here, just to wrap it up. What's next for Trippy Barber?
What's next? What's next is having this goddamn baby.
Having this baby.
Yes. And then once I come back to work, because I'm having this baby next month. Yeah. Come back to work and just like give it my all. And like, I'm in the process of right now making my my eyebrow business to like take off. Yeah. Because I tattoo eyebrows as well. Yes. I really want that to take off for me. I've been doing it for about 2 years. Okay. So once I get back, my main focus is to really make that take off. Okay. You know, so that's my next plan.
Hell yeah, let's get it. Trippy, thank you so much for coming. Guys, I just want to remind you guys, of course, guys, I just want to remind you guys to make sure to engage with me. If you're listening or watching, make sure to engage with me. This lets me know that you're interested in the content and you want more like this. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Trippy. I appreciate it. Good luck with your baby. We're out of here.